I'd like to get us to acknowledge ourselves this evening, but in a different way tonight. I want you to acknowledge yourself. Do it like that. And listen, I learned to value unlimitedness. Can you say that? I learned to value unlimitedness. Take a breath. I learned to value love. Got that one? Here we go. I learned to value love. One more time. I learned to value love. One more time. I learned to value love. Now, whoever don't mind clapping with me, clap with me. Whoever don't want to clap, don't clap. Everybody's happy, right? You cool with me, whatever you do or whatever you don't do. It's called freedom. Do you want to be free? Yes. Do you want to be free? Yes. Do you want to be free? Yes. Me too. I learned to value fearlessness. Say it please. I learned to value fearlessness. One more time now. I learned to value fearlessness. What about love? I learned to value love. And what about me? I learned to value me. Take a breath. And I'm going to cover a little bit for the meditation called the funky meditation. So just close your eyes and breathe. If you're here for the first time, I would invite you to have whatever reaction you like to, knowing you're innocent. You learn to value limitlessness. You learn to value love. You learn to value fearlessness. Yes, your method for doing that, my method for doing this was quite unique. And you might not want to follow in the steps of being crucified. Unless you like the drama being nailed to the cross and being stood up in front of all your friends in order to learn to transcend fear in your mind. You learn to value unbroken communication. It's time for you to learn to value unbroken communication with every soul in every dimension of creation. Learn to value only your loving thoughts. Therefore, in this moment, feel and look at all the objects that you see in this moment. Open your eyes and look at the people that you see around you. Aren't they luscious? Don't they look juicy? Don't they look cool? Yeah, that's what I think. Now, notice whatever sounds may be coming into your field of awareness. Notice whatever pictures or ideas that you are holding of what you are. Notice all the pictures and ideas that you are holding of what the world is. All of these images are all fleeting and temporary illusions. All of these pictures and ideas that you hold about yourself, all of these pictures and ideas that you hold about everybody else, they are fleeting and temporary illusions. They will pass away. So it actually began passing away the moment these images were created. So whatever pictures and ideas you hold about yourself, they began to pass away the moment that you created the pictures and ideas about yourself. Whatever pictures and ideas that you might have about the people in this room, including me, they begin to pass away the moment that they were created. Your fear thoughts begin to pass away the moment that they were created. Your lack thoughts begin to pass away the moment they are created. Your depressing thoughts begin to pass away the moment they were created. All those thoughts that you have that make you feel bad about yourself, remember, they begin to pass away the moment that they were created. So, beloved friends, look at everything that's all around you in your life, in your mind. Think about everything that you have in your life right now, all around you, and decide what value that they hold for you. Think about the things and the people in your life right now, and decide what value that they hold for you. Will you see what you have in your life as something that you must have in your existence? Or will you choose to see what you have in your life as something you have playfully drawn to yourself? Something you have playfully drawn to yourself. Are you seeing the things in your life as something you have playfully drawn to yourself? And then you appreciate it, and then it will be gone tomorrow, and then your peace won't be disturbed even if it's gone. Which way will be your view in the world? This is your higher self. Pretend this is your higher self talking to you right now. Take my fruit and plant it in your consciousness. Take my fruit and plant it in your consciousness. Know that you are one with me. This is love talking to you. This is what created you. Love talking to you. Pretend it. Know that you are one with me. And that fruit you experience is the result of the seeds you plant in your own consciousness. I say it again. That fruit you experience is the result of the seeds you plant in your own consciousness. Know that you cannot help but experience the result of your own consciousness. You cannot help but experience the result of your own consciousness, which is the fruit of the seeds you plant. You can't help but experience the fruit of the seeds you plant. Know that you can't help but experience the fruit of the seeds you plant. Nothing bursts forth on the vine of your experience by accident. Nothing bursts forth on the vine of your experience but by accident. Therefore, your higher power says, create with me, my child. Create with me, my child. Create with me, my child. That's what love is saying to us tonight. Create with me, my child. Create like unto myself, which is power and love. You create like love. You create like the higher power. You create by knowing that you are a creator. You are a creator. I am a creator. I am a creator. We are creators. We are creators. Take a breath. We are creators. That sounds cool to say. We are creators. Anybody feel like saying it? We are creators. We're not victims. We are creators. Say it for ourselves. I am a creator. I am a creator. So even if I'm saying that, I am a creator of your relationship, I am a creator. That means you are a farmer, you are a planter, and you will indeed harvest the quality of the seeds you plant. Now, isn't it wonderful to know that you don't have to believe it? That the rules in this class, the rules are you need not believe the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas may startle you. Some of it you might not believe. Some of it might startle you. You don't have to believe any of it. You don't have to accept any of it. You don't have to welcome any of it. But if you use it, you'll see that it works. If you use it, you will see that it works. Did I say if you use it, you will see that it works? If you use it, you will see that it works. So we're going to be on, if you got the book, you can find where I am. Okay, we're on page 119 in The Way of the Heart, lesson 9 for those online, lesson 9, all events are neutral, on page 119 in The Way of the Heart. It starts off with a prayer from the higher power. And I left off at the part that says, take my fruit and plant it in your consciousness means take love and plant it in your consciousness. Then it says, know that you are one with me. Well, know that you're the same as love. You are love. You are cool. You are love. Then it says that fruit you experience is the result of the seeds you plant in your own consciousness, which means that you can't help but experience the result of the seeds you plant. So that means that everything that you are experiencing right now is a result of you. Everything that you're experiencing right now is a result of the seeds you planted in your own consciousness. Your relationships are the result of your thoughts. Your financial situation, it's the result of your thinking. Whatever's happening to you right now, it's coming to you as a result of your thinking. Now don't forget that I said earlier, you don't have to believe it. Okay, this is an easiest class that's ever been created because you don't have to believe anything the teacher's saying. And how good are we at disbelief? We're experts at disbelief, right? So the genius of our Creator is that our Creator created a path for people who doubt everything. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Because y'all know we doubt so much. You know, some of you may be doubting what you're hearing right now. Isn't that cool to know that wherever you are, you can be met and then lifted up to another level of consciousness, no matter where you are? How would you like somebody to love you where you are instead of asking you to change so they could love you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yes.
Well, you got to be that way. That's the only catch. Okay. I knew it was a catch. I have to actually be what I want to have. I have to actually be what I want to have. I got to be what I want to have. If I want people to be friendly to me, I have to be friendly myself. You know, hey, what's up? What's going on? What's happening? How y'all doing? Y'all doing cool? Everything's good? Good, 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 good. Then it says, nothing bursts forth on the vine of your experience by accident. Nothing has happened to you in your whole life by accident. There's not one single thing that's ever happened to you by accident. Even your accidents weren't accidental. Isn't that great? We don't have to believe that. Accept that. Then it says, therefore create with me, my child, that create like unto myself by knowing how. You create by knowing that you are a creator. That means you are a farmer. That means you are a planter. It was funny, I had a past life dream one time, which you don't have to believe in past lives in order to wake up to your real self, so it's not necessary. But those of us who do believe that we couldn't possibly have screwed up this much in one lifetime, let's kind of entertain the idea. I had one where I was a Quaker with the buckle shoes and the hat and the whole thing, and it explained a lot. Because when I was a kid, I had the biggest garden in our neighborhood, and I grew all kinds of vegetables and stuff. and I loved to garden. And it was like the most natural thing in the world. So it was funny because I was wondering, you know. Then I saw another one. I always had the spiritual thing. Then I had another past life dream where I was an Indian medicine man. And I experienced myself as that, and then being like killed by the people who, what do you call the people that pioneers? Yeah. Then another time, so that kind of explained my desire to be a healer and to be somebody that played that role. Then another time, I was a prostitute that used to wear out all the cellars. See, everybody always say, I was Henry VIII. You know, I would say, no, I was a hoe. And a damn good one, too. I'd like to say I'm proud. But actually, I was instrumental in saving some orphans from a burning house. Yeah, wasn't that a trip?
Yeah, a helpful hope.
I tried to be that even until today. Thank you for sharing. So, just as you, beloved child, are the harvest of the seed I once planted, when first I held the thought of you in my holy mind. Now imagine this is your higher power, the Creator talking to you. I said that one more time. Just as you, my beloved child, are the harvest of the seed I once planted. So that means that you are an idea in the mind of God. You are a thought that God had. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. That the infinite creator of the universe thought of you. And because you were thought of, you exist. And you will exist as long as you're thought of. Just like people don't exist in your life when you stop thinking of them. Wouldn't it be easier to just forget people instead of trying to get over them? Think about that for a minute. I said it one more time. Wouldn't it be great to be able to just choose to forget the pain? Because you're not doing the same thing you used to do anyway, so you don't have to worry about that happening again that way, if you truly change yourself. So you could just forget about it. But if I forget about what upsets me, I won't be upset. Nah. Nah. That would wreck my whole perception of reality. I've built my whole life up around overcoming upset problems and stuff like that. So if I have no problems, what am I going to do with my time? I've heard people say, peace is boring. I've heard that. Have you ever heard that one? Peace is boring. Now listen to what you're telling yourself, that if you have total fulfillment, which is peace, that's boring. So that's an order to your mind to give you excitement, which you will see as endless drama. So our desire for endless drama would be what we would be asking for if we thought peace and happiness is boring. So if your life is full of endless drama, you're just trying to entertain yourself. Yeah. Your drama is entertainment for you. Because if you just go to work, come home, no big exciting thing really happening in your life, the same routine, seeing the same people, doing everything the same way, and TV, watching TV, and that's it, then your life is pretty damn boring. Maybe. I don't know, you might just absolutely, I love TV. You know, I'm not so spiritual, I go, TV. I don't even own one. Great! But that doesn't make you any more enlightened. I'm sorry. But you mean no TV is the absolute proof you're evolving? No. Being okay about TV is the proof of you evolving. Allowing it is evolving. So you're not being spiritual because you don't allow stuff. You're being spiritual when you allow everything to be. Deep, isn't it? Even your anger, even your depression, even your upset, whatever you're going through, just allow it. And it'll pass through you and away from you, and you'll be done with it. All the resistance of it keeps it around. So what if I got angry and just let the anger come through me, realize that I'm the one that's making it happen, don't judge it, just say, isn't this an interesting emotion I'm having right now, anger, which is just my deep call for love, and I let myself feel it. I'm not going to judge myself for it, and then it just passes and then it goes away. But if I make it a big deal and I judge it, I'm going to stop it from passing through me, and I'm going to grab my anger, and then I'm going to analyze my anger to see where my anger came from, but I won't have time to fully analyze it, because just when I get to working on this anger, I'm pissed off again. So now I got another one to deal with. So I take the first anger and I put it up on the shelf, and I'll get back to you, and now I got my latest anger. No, depression, hold up. Let me take my anger and put it over. And so before we know it, we have a library of pain. So we're always studying it when we could let it pass through and be done with it. Some people got the Library of Congress. They got so many different things that they're upset about. So it's telling us that, I need this, that you are thought in my holy mind, and in that moment you arose as a sunbeam from the sun, made in my image. You're like a sunbeam to the sun. You're like a ripple to the ocean. And when I was in high school, we sometimes drank ripple. Now you see why I'm in the chorus. I got a lot to forgive. I got a lot to see myself as innocent about. The teacher needs the learning the most. Always remember that. The teacher is the primary learner. So if this is a course on forgiveness, guess who's probably the most grievance-holding person in this room? Earl. Why? Because I'm teaching. So I'm the one who needs to learn it the most, and look at all the support I need. Fortunately, you're just like me. So you also need to learn to forgive and see things differently. But make no doubt about it, if I'm the teacher, I'm the main one who needs to learn it. I want to learn it so much I'm teaching it. That's how I know how sincere I am about it. Y'all kind of follow me on that? Okay? So it's saying here, so like I always tell, never put me on a pedestal, because that just means you can get better aim. I'm just like you, I got an ego. If you can see somebody, they got an ego. They got something they got to learn to go beyond. So don't get fooled by it, from the Pope to the person standing on the corner. If you see them, they got lessons to learn and love just like you do. The only difference might be how quick they use the tools when things come up, as opposed to how quickly you use the tools of truth. So that's the only advance. You're advanced if you're using what you're studying more. Does that make sense to everybody? You know, just because I've been studying this long just means I'll go to my toolbox usually faster than a person that's just beginning. But I still have to deal with whatever the issue is, which is telling me all I need to do is just allow it and then choose for something else. So it's saying here, I hail you as the thought of love in form. So that means each and every one of us are just one form of love. You are love in a form. This is a form. I'm love in a form. I'm a love form. You are a love form. A form is a body, so you could say you are a love body in a sense. You're the thought of love in a body. You're the thought of love in a body. And then it goes on to say, and I bestowed you with all good things. That you've been given all good things. And the question is, why don't I realize it all the time? Therefore, see yourself as I see you. Now you just heard the reason to be in a relationship. I sometimes forget that I'm the thought of love in form, and I'll be criticizing and judging myself sometimes and not really feeling as good about myself as I should. Anybody else? Okay, so then I'm in a relationship with you. Then you are to remind me that I'm a thought of love in form, and that I really have a lot of good things. See, the purpose of a relationship is to keep you awake and aware of what you might forget about yourself. Rather than when you say, I'm a no good person, the other person says, it's about time you realize that. And let me add what you did last Christmas to what's going on. And what about, Thanksgiving too? So some people get partners and friends that remind them of everything that they appear to have done that's unloving. But a holy relationship is someone that's reminding you of the truth about you. Even though you might make mistakes, even though you may not love yourself, you got someone reminding you that you deserve to be loved, even when you forget it. So that's the purpose of a relationship. That's the real purpose of a relationship. It's to never let you forget that you are a creator, and you are powerful, and you are innocent. Else why be in a friggin' relationship? Unless you hate yourself, then you need somebody to constantly judge you. So you kind of can tell how you feel about yourself by how your friends and your partners talk to you. So if I'm staying with somebody that's dogging me out all the time, I must obviously think I deserve to be dogged out. So I shouldn't be mad at them for playing the role that I assigned to them and my desire to make myself feel bad. So everybody's acting out the role that we ask them to play consciously and unconsciously in our lives. It's almost like we're having a conversation beneath the way we're talking to each other. You're having an argument with me, and then underneath that, our real selves are saying, they say, right now I want you to cuss me out and tell me how no good I am, because that's really what I'm believing about myself. Then she says, hey, you're no good. It was really telepathically, I'm telling her everything to tell me about myself that I want to believe. She would be just playing the role that I asked her to play for me to convince me of what I wanted to believe about myself. So actually I shouldn't get upset with her for giving me what I asked for. That's deep. Aren't you glad you don't have to believe this? Or accept this? Or welcome it? But it surely is different. So at least we're not hearing the same old thing over and over again, whether we believe it or not. What would happen if I really believed that I was creating everything that was happening to me? Well, I wouldn't have anybody to forgive. Because I would be there's nobody I'm angry at. How would I be angry at you for giving me what I asked for? Don't you give thanks to people who give you what you ask for? Wow. You mean I'm supposed to love my enemy? Yeah, because they're getting you to call on every ounce of truth that's in you to finally use it and activate it. They're your worthy opponent. They're the people that come into your lives to make sure you practice what you say you believe in. And some people are dedicated. Right? There's some people that are dedicated to get you to love yourself by reflecting back to you something that isn't very loving so consistently that you have to make a choice for yourself on your own. Wow, let's thank them. Yes. 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 All right. And sometimes they go by the name of mate. That's a code name, right? Okay. Then it says, therefore, see yourself as I see you, embrace yourself as I embrace you, accept yourself as you are. What is that? A creator that creates without ceasing, which means you are creating even when you sleep, you are creating even when you're asleep, you are creating even when you are asleep, you are creating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you are creating. And just as I sat upon my throne, which means sitting in the center of all that is. So sitting on the throne of your life means that you're seeing yourself as the center. That's interesting to think of a throne as the center. Then it says, and beheld you as a loving thought. I beheld you as a loving thought. So to choose only to allow loving thoughts to enter into your consciousness. So I'm going to only allow loving thoughts to enter into my consciousness now. That's the only thing that I'm really going to allow to enter my consciousness. Choose to only allow loving thoughts to be expressed with your words. So how many times have we heard that? Try to be more loving. Say loving thoughts. He says, choose only to allow loving thoughts to be translated into your gestures, your choices, your actions. Just let loving thoughts express that. I tend to try to do that at first with special people. And sometimes I get on the elevator and nobody's just kind of looking kind of sad. You know, elevator sad. And, this is we get down there. Not too long ago, I got on the elevator and the young lady just gave me just hugged me and put her head on my chest, and then she stepped back and then she hugged me again and put her head on my chest, and then she got out of the elevator and walked away. So that I knew something was changing in my mind.
I love that story.
Yeah. And sometimes, so now when I get on the elevator, it's like I kind of go, I want to change the vibe on this elevator. So I go, how's your day going today? You know, and funny thing, I noticed that when I come out of an energy like that, 9 out of 10 times they come back the same way. Oh man, it's just been a day, it's been a trip. I just, you know, all of a sudden they mirror back to me the exact same energy that I gave them, but they were not projecting that energy at all at first. But guess what? I was not projecting that energy at all at first. So I was like, look at them like, boy, they sure not friendly. Boy, they sure not friendly. See, I'm just like them. Boy, they sure not friendly. You see what I mean? But when I change, then they appear to have changed. Could this world be a 3-dimensional mirror of your state of mind? And if that's true, you have no secret thoughts. You know exactly what you think. It's what everybody around you's thinking. Deep, 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 deep. It's so deep, just hold this a second. And thereby, creators, I created you, that which extends joy forever, that which extends the holy, the beautiful, and the good forever. For that is what you are. I'll say it again. You are the holy, the beautiful, and the good. You are the innocent and the beautiful and the good. You are the innocent, the beautiful, and the good. You are good, innocent, and beautiful. You are good, you are innocent, you are beautiful. What? Who you talking about? You are the good, you are the innocent, you are the beautiful. That's who you are. Now, the less you think that's true about you, the more you're going to think I'm full of BS. I'll say it again. The less that's true about you and your own. If you don't think you're good, and you don't think you're innocent, and you don't think you're beautiful, you just think I'm a guy up here talking a bunch of crap. So you can tell what you believe about yourself by what you believe about me. Deep. All right? So the chorus then goes, that's what you are, that's how I thought of you when I created you, that's what you remain eternally, therefore join with me by extending your creation as I extended you. Since you have manifested a physical body, accept my son's teaching and let that body be placed in a chair, which you've already done, that you might think like the mind of Christ for 5 minutes. Think like the mind that's thinking the truth for 5 minutes. This book is saying, could you just think the truth for 5 friggin' minutes? No. What's the truth? That you are here to extend joy, that you are holy, which means innocent, which means you are beautiful and good. Could you think that you were good and beautiful for 5 minutes? Boy, that sounds like an eternity. Mm-hmm. And you will beget an eternality. What? Eternality that reflects the radiance of heaven. Just as you reflect my radiance when I look upon the unlimited soul that you are. Okay, now, any questions or comments about anything that you've heard so far today? We do 5 minutes for discussion, then I'm moving on like a train on the track. Okay, 5 minutes, go forward. Anybody got any comments, any thoughts, any questions about anything you've heard me say tonight? Shock.
Well, I did because, so I've been doing that 5 minutes. And one of the things that I have been experiencing is discomfort, actually. And so immediately my mind wants to say, well, you're doing it wrong then. But like, I don't know, I'm just saying it out loud because maybe I'm not the only one.
Well, you're not doing it wrong. You're telling the truth about yourself, and then every lie about yourself comes up to be released.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay? That's how you can tell you're doing it. Because all of a sudden the thoughts that's opposite come up for you to actually see. So that's a good sign.
Okay.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Cool.
You are totally innocent, Chris. Then the part of your mind go, crap. I'm totally loving. You remembering what you just did last week? Abundance is my natural state. They're about to repossess your car. I'm the most lovable being there is. You haven't had a date since 1986. So the thought to the contrary comes up because you're telling yourself the truth. Good sign. Good sign. Anybody else? Everybody's clear on everything you've heard. You just, no problem.
It seems like what you just commented, to me it seems like it's that ego that's fighting to try to keep you separate.
That's right.
Having those type of thoughts.
That's right.
So you may say, yeah, I'm loving, and then all these silly other thoughts, which really are not truth, come up. To me that seems like ego.
Well, that is ego. That's the same thing, exactly. The thought that came up to the contrary is the ego. Thank you. Anna?
I love the reminder that if I'm perceiving correctly, whatever I see, even if it's unpleasant, is a cause for gratitude. And if I was seeing correctly, I would just be nothing but grateful all the time.
If I was seeing correctly, I'd be grateful all the time.
For whatever.
For whatever is going on.
Because it's a mirror of what I'm believing, which is helpful for me to realize.
Thank you.
What I'm believing.
Well, since it's making what you are perceiving and experiencing, it would be a good place to start. I'm going to pass this around every week, even if it drives you crazy. Okay. That's for the contact list, so you can get links to the video of the classes that I'm doing, so you can listen to it again. Thank you. Anybody else? Any comments? Any questions?
When you practice it enough, and your ego's telling you the opposite of all of the correct thoughts, does it begin to change? Does your ego's conversation to you begin to change, or do you just start laughing at it? Or I mean, how does that?
Well, God's voice is only as loud as my willingness to listen.
Okay.
The truth is only as loud as my willingness to listen. So as I am willing to tell myself the truth more, I'll hear that voice less. It'll be talking, but it'll be like, you're no good, you're no good, you're no good. Because you're hearing, I deserve love, I deserve love, I deserve love, I deserve love, I deserve love.
And you might just believe it.
Well, now you're willing to hear that voice that's been telling you loving things all the time, but you didn't hear it because you were listening to the voice that was telling you to lie. And so you go through that transition of the two voices. And for a while, both of them will seem equal. Like you're telling yourself cool things and then you're telling yourself uncool things equally for a while. And then after a while, the balance will go more in the direction of the you that's loving you. But it's when they're pretty even that everybody, people are tempted to quit because they get so disoriented and confused. I'm innocent, you're guilty. I'm innocent, I'm guilty. I'm innocent, I'm guilty. I'm innocent. I love everybody. I want to bomb them all. I won't love, I'm afraid of it. I won't love, I'm afraid of it. I won't love, I'm afraid of it. See, we're giving ourselves contrary instruction all the time. And so they just stalemate each other. But then if you keep on focusing on the truth, it will start to become the stronger thought, and then you will see that fruit start to show up, and it'll freak you out because you'll see it, and it'll be like a weed of truth. It'll start getting out of control, like you can't even control the good stuff that starts to happen to you. And then you have to deal with your biggest challenge of all, which is receiving. But you always think you're ready for it. I can handle it. I'm ready for all that good stuff, and then it starts showing up. And it scare you half to death. I'm good. Am I scaring you? Some of you I might be. You see what I'm saying? So I'm good, you're scared of me. So maybe when your good shows up, you'll be scared. And what's cool about a person that's loving is that when they see you afraid, they're gonna back off. Fear is the only thing that intrudes upon you of its own volition, whether you want it or not. Love waits on welcome, not on time. So it's not how much you study and how long you study that determines how much love you receive. It's your ability to welcome it that determines how quickly you receive the abundance and the love. Not how long you study, how quickly you welcome. If I want to be loving to you and you welcome me, then I'm going to come into your experience and be loving. If you go, whoa, dude, then I'm going to back off immediately. Doesn't make me any less loving. Actually, I'm being more loving, because the last thing you want to do with anybody that you want to be close to is to increase their fear. And you increase a person's fear by not honoring what they're saying. I don't love you. I don't want you around. I'm scared of you. Okay. When you change your mind, I'll be ready with open arms to join with you. I'm scared of you. I'm scared of you making me nervous. Well, I'm just going to give you more attention. You see what I mean? Love waits on welcome. I'm looking to see who's a total yes to me. That's what I run down. Does this person feel like a total yes to me, or a little bit of a yes? Or this a real powerful hell no? And if it is, I'm going in the opposite direction. The Course in Miracles teaches recognize misery and go the other way. Recognize misery and go the other way. Didn't say stop and analyze the misery. It said recognize this is miserable. I'm going to go in the other direction. Wow. Yes, Trinity.
I've noticed that when I'm doing the work and I'm really focused on I want love, I want abundance, I am love, I am abundance, and it starts to come to me, when it comes to me, because I'm working on it, I'm like, there it is, good. And when it comes to me really easy, I'm like, well, that's great, but that doesn't count. What's the hard thing? How do we, and it's really weird.
We've been taught no pain, no gain.
Stuff.
That's what we've been taught, no pain, no gain.
Right, yeah.
Right. So we think no pain, no gain. So if I'm not going through a lot of pain, I'm not really benefiting by what I'm going through. And I'm here to tell you that that's a bunch of crap. If you are a creator who creates through your thought, right? And you tell yourself, I don't gain without pain, what are you ordering? Pain, especially when you want to gain. So then you set a goal, which you see as a gain, but you also create a struggle for the pain. And then you're shocked. And then you go, oh, why is my life so hard? Remember, no pain, no gain. Isn't that your belief? Yes. Then be glad you're struggling. It's absolutely taking care of the way you set it up. Let me tell you something. Those trees out there, they don't need some kind of a limit on top of them to make them grow. They grow better when there's no obstruction. Follow what I'm saying? So don't tell yourself you need a lot of obstructions and blocks to become strong. That tree doesn't need obstructions and blocks to grow strong. We don't either. We just need freedom, space, love. That's it. Wow. So I want to ask you to stop trying to love people. But what? Stop trying to love people. That'll get rid of a big sense of failure right there. You automatically feel better about yourself. Have you noticed how hard it is just to love people sometimes? Maybe that's because that's not natural.
You say it's not natural.
It's not natural to try to love people. It's natural to be loved. To just be it yourself. And then that's going to be the love of people.
Right.
But if I try to love you, then I've already made a judgment about you being unlovable. And now I'm trying to make myself feel something I don't feel for you. So then I'm going to ignore the people who are being loving to me because y'all are handled. And I've spent all day long working on the people that I think I don't get along with. And so I end up giving the people I don't like and who don't like me more attention than the people who do love me. And then you find yourself not spending time with the people that you enjoy and find yourself all the time with the people that you're trying to love. Stop trying to love them because you don't. That's why you're trying so hard. Maybe if you stop trying so hard, then allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, then behind the fear and the block you feel would be the love that's you, and it will come through in love for you. There's a lesson in the Course in Miracles that goes, God is the love in which I forgive. I like that. It's like, okay, I'm mad at you, but God is the love in which I forgive you. Earl is not the love in which I forgive you. But God is the love in which I forgive you. Earl doesn't know how to completely love you right now. So God does. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put God's love on you. I'm going to let Spirit forgive you. I don't want to do it right now. Now, why don't I want to forgive you right now? Well, because I don't think I deserve to be free of suffering myself. I haven't forgiven myself for prom night. If I forgive you, I'll feel okay about me. I'm not ready to feel okay about me, so I'll hold a grievance toward you, and God's love will forgive you, and I let God take care of that. Thank you very much. Because I believe you deserve God's love more than mine anyway. I think giving you my love is the cruelest thing I could ever do. I don't like you. I love you. I'm gonna fix you. I'm gonna love you with my love. I'm gonna give you my love. You know, the most limited, restricted, guilty stuff I could ever put on you. Full of bargains and anger from the past, and you gotta make up for every other woman that ever happened to me before you. That's right. You gotta treat me the way nobody before you has ever treated me. So I'm watching you. Hey, the other person didn't call me before dinner when it was going to be late either. I know that you're doing the same thing. The other one didn't really. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not really having a relationship with you. I'm having a relationship with the person that's not there.
Yeah.
That's right.
Never saw you, by the way.
Yeah.
I call that wisdom. Wisdom? That's delusional. What do you mean? You're not the person I was with before, so it's delusional to treat you like you are. Oh, I thought that was wisdom, bringing my past experience into this new experience. No. Wisdom is knowing this isn't your old experience, so you can have a new experience. Because that's the truth. I'm not your old boyfriend. But if you keep seeing me as like your old boyfriend, I'll turn into your old boyfriend because you're going to edit everything from me that's not like him so that you can be right about what you think about me. So you turn me into your old girlfriend, your old boss, your old whatever. That's why when you change to something new, it's new for a minute, and then you stick around with it for a while, and you start noticing you don't like this job either. Right, you made it like the other ones. Have you ever noticed that wherever you are there? Is that deep? Aren't you the common denominator in every situation in your life? It's not like everybody you know got together and called each other to treat you the same way. You're the common denominator. So maybe it's me. If it's really me, I'm excited about that. Because that means I can freaking change it. And I don't have to get your cooperation to do it at all. Isn't it great? I can walk out of here tonight saying, everybody, you're beautiful, you're holy, you're good. And I don't have to call you up and get your permission. And I'll have a world that'll reflect that back to me. Because God loved me so much, God wouldn't leave my happiness up to you. Now that's a loving God. If I needed to you and you needed me to make it okay for you to be happy, we'd never be happy. So I'm glad that what created me loves me more than the people around me and even me. Especially me. Because the more I learned the truth, I started to take it easier on other people and be harder on myself. You know what I mean? You start taking the pressure off other people, you stop criticizing other people, but you still find yourself being just as hard on yourself as ever, and blaming yourself is the same as blaming somebody else. It's the same thing, because you're one. So when I learned that blaming somebody else was the same as blaming me, then I just blamed them. That's like when I went as a little kid and I went to the church and they would say, thinking it is as bad as doing it. And I said, let me get this straight. I see some serious possibilities here. Let me get this straight. You mean thinking about doing it, I'll go to hell as quick as I was actually doing it? Cheryl sounds like she gets what I'm talking about. So I went, I just well go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
It sounds like more fun. And I didn't worry about going to hell nowhere. All my buddies was going to be there.
Yeah.
Heaven, I would have been lonely. So indeed, the entire valley, there was but one farmer that was wise. Will you elect to join the union comprised of all the hasty farmers? Or will you choose to take up residence as the one farmer who knows how to operate and create wisely? That means in faith, resting on perfect certainty, and merely sits back to wait for the ripples of heaven or love to come and replace the ripples of hell, which is fear, that once you created, how? Unwittingly. So how can we forgive ourselves tonight? I would say to myself, forgive me, Father, for I know not what I did. You know, you didn't know what you were doing. You didn't know what you were doing. When you were being unloving, no matter what you say, you really didn't know what you were doing. Because if you really knew what you were doing, you wouldn't do unloving things. So even when you think you know you're choosing to be unloving, you really don't know what you're doing, or you wouldn't do it. So that's why you can forgive yourself, because you did it unwittingly. Everyone is a minister. You can't help but minister to the world in each moment. Therefore, begin your ministry of enlightened consciousness when? Now. And I promise you this absolutely irrevocably. You will experience all that I have known and more. You will experience, okay, here's another one of those great sentences that you're not to believe. You will experience complete victory over death. You mean I'm not going to die? That's the most depressing thing you could have ever done. If you're a miserable person and you hear you have eternal life, you go, oh, great. I'm going to owe MasterCard forever. Miserable people look forward to death. Happy people go, I want to live. I want to live. I want to live. Happy people go, I don't want this to end. I want to live. Miserable people, oh, I'm going to die and go to heaven. All the good stuff's going to happen up there. You know, that's miserable people's song. Happy people like, whoa, hold up, death. Because you know the happier you are, the faster time passes by. Doesn't it? You having a good time, it passes like that. You have you ever had a date that lasted 3 years? It's like, will this date ever end? If she says another word, I'm going to stab her with a fork. Will you shut up so I can just think about my fantasies about you? Because you're really blowing it. You just need to be quiet. You were way ahead till you start talking. You would have been lucky tonight till you opened your mouth. Right? Have you ever felt that before? You were like attracted to somebody until they started talking, and then you went, oh man! And then have you ever had, they started talking and you went, my God! I've hit the friggin' jackpot! This is what I've been waiting to hear my whole life. Oh my God. I fallen in love with your mind the way I used to fall in love with bodies. And guess what? The body was thrown in. I've yet to meet a person without a body. I'm looking forward to it though. Like I often say to my other classes, what? If you really want to know with another person, if it's about their body or if it's about their mind and their spirit, ask yourself, would I want to be with this person if they had no body? If I had to just be with their mind all the time, would I shoot myself? I couldn't touch them. There wasn't nothing physical. I just had to hear their conversation all the time and the way they think and the way they talk. And here we are on an island in the middle of nowhere. And there's absolutely no Facebook. Now I'm getting home. Now I'm getting everybody. I had to get it just right, didn't I? Are you going too far, black man? I'm gonna start a new one called Face Black. I'm working on it right now. Facebook and Face Black. Okay? So then you know what you just interested in their body and what they got. Got kind of quiet, didn't it? Yeah. I noticed just when I asked that, he's like, oh. Instead of going, oh, wow, I hit the jackpot then. Everybody go, Suppose their mind was cool and their body was cool.
Yeah, how about that?
What about that? Have you ever thought about that?
Oh, yeah.
Would that be okay?
Yes.
Would that be all right?
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget, the body is like an ice cream cone. You better lick it before it melts. Quote me on that. That's the name of my first book. Shouldn't I? In the meantime, the ice cream cone is melting. You know what I'm saying?
The body is melting.
The body is melting. And you're not enjoying it because you believe in guilt and sin. So you tell yourself it's not okay to experience your physical reality. It's a trick. You just want to choose correctly, choose lovingly, choose with awareness, choose with a purpose, and enjoy the fruits of your thinking. Where you think your bodies came from. They came from you. Yes.
So then it is possible to have a beautiful mind and a beautiful body.
Look at me. The course calls this true humility. Say you're being arrogant when you put yourself down because you're thinking your belief about yourself is truer than God's. And that's arrogant. Your Creator says you're beautiful and holy. You say you're not. You are being arrogant.
That's right.
You think what you think is truer than what God thinks. Spirit is saying you're loving and lovable. No, I'm not. You're arrogant. Isn't that a great definition of arrogant? And then you're being humble if you accept the truth about yourself being good and beautiful and holy. That's humility. Anybody else, any questions or comments? I've covered a little bit. Want to give you a chance to express? Yes.
You mentioned about, and it's so true, and we are really, really happy. Time goes really fast. Why is that?
Because you're present.
Oh.
So in eternity is now. So when you're in now, you're not in time. And so therefore the whole illusion of time anyway, which isn't really real, it's gone. That's what I was getting ready to say. I'm glad you mentioned that. Thank you, Holy Spirit. It was, you want joy to go with eternity. So if I'm going to live forever, God, make it a good time. See, joy goes with eternity. That's why as you become happier, it's going to become more important to you to get in touch with your eternal life. Because you want to be around. And you know your body isn't always going to be around. Yeah. So you want to start focusing on the part that you got to be around because you're enjoying yourself. Yeah. If you're miserable and you feel guilty and not enough, then you can't wait to the end of your life because you think after you die, some people think after they die, then they're going to be happy. Some people just think after you die. You see? So you gotta balance it between, I have a part of me that is eternal, that lives forever, but I also have an identity that I see as temporary. That way you won't be messing around and not enjoying your life because you know you won't always have your body, but at the same time you know that when you drop your body you will continue to live on. So, but you won't be this identity but once. It is one shot for Earl Purdy identity. That identity is the things. There's a body named Earl Purdy. He does have one shot in it. My eternal soul will continue to live on, according to what I'm learning. So the you are now, you need to really enjoy it. That's good news. Anybody else? Anybody else want to talk to me or talk to everybody in the room? I just don't want to be, do you think it's just about me talking? I want to give you a chance to express. I love questions. Don't come up after the class and ask me no questions. I mean it. Don't come up after the class and ask me no questions. Because any question that you would want to ask me, everybody would want to know the answer to that same question. So that's like an injustice to everybody else.
I have a question.
Yeah, my brother.
I want to create peace in my decisions. How do I do that?
The way that you create peace in your decisions is, number one, to make an undivided decision where you're not trying to choose between two things anymore, because conflict and fear comes from not making a decision. So actually peace and a decision are the same thing. Conflict is trying to choose between two things. Okay, and then you want to choose for peace, and then ask yourself in every situation, what would be the highest, most evolved way for me to handle this? You know, give what you want to receive. And the Course in Miracles would say, you don't physically attack, because all attack is really physical. Did you know that? That all attack is physical? People say there's emotional attack, mental attack. That's not really, strictly speaking, true. Even though we think we can be emotionally abused, that's still a meaning we've given to what's happened. Let me give you an example. If I hit my brother, no, I ain't hitting him. If I hit he's a martial arts expert. I think I'll change that one. I'm gonna give you a hug. You can call me anything you want to call me, and I don't have to feel anything about it unless I give it meaning. So your words can't hurt me. Your words only hurt me if I give them meaning. That's why it's no, but if I hit you physically, you would feel it. So attack is physical. It's not really mental. You can think anything you want to about me. It won't have any more effect on me than I allow it. So nobody can really hurt me emotionally. I can hurt myself emotionally about what you just said. That's what we do. You call me stupid and I believe it, my feelings get hurt because I gave that meaning. You call me stupid and I don't feel stupid at all, it has no effect on me whatsoever. But if you hit me, I feel it. Attack is physical, not words. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Even though you know I could say something to you and it hurt your feelings. But that just means now you know why. Not because of what I said, but because of what?
The meaning.
The meaning you're giving what I said. That's where all pain comes from, unless it's physical. And even physical pain is ultimately coming from a thought. Deep. Woo! If you ever feel pain, say to yourself, ask yourself this question: what am I deceiving myself about? Because pain is self-deception.
Yeah.
So every time you hurt and go, what is it I'm fooling myself about, God? What is it that I'm deceiving myself about right now? I got a toothache. What am I deceiving myself about right now? I feel a heartache. What am I deceiving myself about right now? Ask the universe that question if you want the pain to go away. Because I'm fooling myself about something and it's hurting me. I think you love me. It looked like you didn't love me. Now my feelings are hurt. What hurt me? I was deceiving myself. Pain is the result of self-deception. So if you're hurting financially, you're deceiving yourself about your ability to be wealthy. If your relationships are causing you pain right now, you're deceiving yourself about your ability to experience loving relationships. You're fooling yourself. I love that, because no one likes to fool themselves and deceive themselves usually. So if I tell you you're deceiving yourself, your mind will do what? Automatically try to correct it because you've already trained your mind to not want to deceive you. So you're working with the way your mind already operates, which is a much easier way to do something. Is to work with the way your mind is already operating rather than trying to change it. Follow that? So if I tell myself hating you is an attack on me, my mind goes, wait a minute. I've been trained that I shouldn't attack myself. So automatically your mind will start trying to get rid of that thought. That's why the Course in Miracles says stuff like, think about something upsetting that you're telling yourself about somebody and then say, this thought is an attack upon myself. I didn't want to do that at first. Because why? Because I don't want to believe I'm attacking myself. So that was a brilliant strategy. If I say I'm attacking myself by not having enough abundance, then my mind is going to want to correct that because it automatically doesn't want me to attack myself. I've trained it my whole life not to want to hurt me. Try it before you doubt it. But if you say, my abundance serves a useful, my lack serves a useful purpose, then you'll recreate lack. If you say, there is no use to me in being broke, and not having money enough to pay my bills or thinking that I'm lacking in my spiritual awareness, if you don't have it, if your mind goes, oh, I don't have any use for it, it's already been trained to let go of those things that it has no use for. So then let's go of your lack. Because I have no more use for it. See, it's just all about what you're telling yourself. It's the interpretations that you're using that's determining what's happening to you. Got it? It's the interpretations that you're using that's determining how you feel right now. And so the truth just gives you new interpretations to use that will free you. And it's given to you. It's right there in the freaking book. You don't even have to figure out the thoughts that would free you from whatever's causing you pain. We're blessed enough to have many, many truth books that are giving us the interpretations in the book that will automatically change our entire experience. The problem is, for a long time, I didn't love myself enough to pick it up and do it. Did you know that? That the answer would be right there, and I would not even take the time to check it out. You wouldn't know what I was talking about, would you? Are you not just sitting around expecting things to just change because you're nice? Oh, yeah. Do y'all really think being nice is enough? Y'all really believe that? Y'all really? But how many nice people do you know that have gotten told they look like screwed around, or hurt, or attacked? If being nice worked, nobody would be getting hurt hardly, because most people act nice.
That's right.
So I'm sorry, if you're a nice person, that's not going to prevent things from happening to you.
That's right.
I promise you. You know that's true. I don't even have to make that up. You know that's the truth. Being nice does not keep things from happening to you that you see as bad.
That's right.
Being conscious does. Knowing what's going on does. Got it? So stop thinking being nice is going to get it. It's good to be nice, don't get me wrong. But it's not going to be the thing that's going to keep you from experiencing pain. How many times have you entered into a relationship with somebody because you thought you were being nice and you wanted to help them? And it didn't turn out so well.
They didn't appreciate it.
But you were being nice. But then have you seen somebody that looks like they're the worst person that ever walked the earth and in their private jet?
Yeah.
It seems like they got the coolest relationship, and you go, well, they don't deserve it. Hey, their consciousness created it. They believe they deserve it. That's why it's there. Isn't that a trip? Even though you don't even like them. But they got everything you think you want. By right of consciousness. By right of consciousness. What is consciousness? See, I got the two of me. What is consciousness? Consciousness is your level of interpretation of what's happening to you. Your level of consciousness is the level that you interpret what's happening to you on. That's your level of consciousness. There are two. Make it simple. One level of consciousness is I am a victim of everything I experience. The other level of consciousness is I am the creator. That's it. And all of us are on the same level, by the way. In case you think there are levels, that's another illusion. There are no levels. We are all on one level called the learning level. Got it? We're all learners, so we're on the same level. Awesome. Awesome. I like being equal to you, and I like you being equal to me. I love that. No hierarchy. That's cool. So, take a breath. Anybody else? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna get to you right next, brother. Okay, yeah.
I just wanted to add to brother's question. What's your name, bro? Mike Naeem. He said, in making a decision, right? How do you?
Yeah, I want peace in my decisions.
Right.
No matter if it goes bad or good, I don't get to say, I went that route and it's okay. It's the route I chose. And not have to feel regret from it.
All right. Well, I'll tell you personally, Earl said the same thing. It's about first choosing for peace. Because the answers are so simple, we have to hear them over and over again because we're not going to accept it. We need a long dissertation. So I'm going to just say what works for me is making it okay if you choose this and making it okay if you don't. That's it. That's it. That's it. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
The one thing that we all have as equals is what? Our points of view.
And choice.
And the power of choosing. I love how it said, you know, you have one remaining freedom as a prisoner of this world. You all have forgotten all of your infinite superpowers.
Yes.
And you now think you're this limited being that lives a little while before you go up and like powder and your body's gone. And he's saying, you got one power left. The power of decision. The power to choose. That's the last one we got. So he says, why don't you decide to see it differently? Just make that decision. I'm going to see me differently. And I don't even have to believe it. I'm good, I'm beautiful, I'm holy. I don't have to believe that. If it's the truth, it's true whether I believe it or not. I just need to say it. Well, why should I say it? That's symbolic of my willingness to know it's true. And all spirit needs is my willingness. Got that? So when you say stuff that you don't believe that you wish was true, you're really showing your symbolic willingness for it to be true and to know it's true. And then the universe can support you in seeing the truth of it. That's why words are cool. Because words help you concentrate on the thing you like to experience. Got it? The words facilitate concentration. That's why you use positive, powerful words. Because they exclude the words that you don't want to hear. I am deserving of love. See that focus? Means in that moment I'm not thinking about I don't deserve love. So the words help me focus on that which I wanted to experience. And the words are always symbolic of an experience that you want to have. That's all words are. If I say if I use the words I want a relationship, it's just symbolic of it. I want to have the experience of union, joining in love. You see what I'm saying? The words are asking for an experience. The words you use are asking for an experience. Boom! Now my brother.
So we live in this world with a mirror,
Mm-hmm.
constantly reflecting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's human nature to feel undeserving at times. Does that necessarily mean that you feel the opposite party is undeserving of your love? If you can't.
Yeah, if I feel like I'm undeserving, I'm going to have a tendency to project that onto others and also see them as somehow undeserving. Mm-hmm. So which means I'm going to judge something about them that would make it seem like they didn't deserve love. In other words, I'm upset with you about something. And I'm upset with you about something else. And I'm upset with you about something else. And if you would just change, I'd be happy. And if you just see, I feel like I'm undeserving, so I'm thinking you're undeserving of my love. But how can I keep myself from giving you my love? But I got to judge you as unlovable. So it started with me feeling that way. And I would ask you to look at the statement another way that says it's just human nature to feel undeserving. It's more like that's a programming that we received, more so than we were born that way. See, we were born and then people started to describe to us who we are, what we should believe, what's real, and we don't realize that we're actually living out descriptions. Do you follow me? Because from the time you got here, everybody started telling you what was right, what was wrong, what was good, what was bad, what was real, what wasn't real. And when you get to the point that you can make those definitions on your own without anybody telling you, like I'll tell you that you're not deserving, you're not deserving, you're not deserving, you're little. And I'm going, you're not deserving, you're not deserving, I'm not giving you the love you deserve, I'm not hugging you, I'm not telling you that you're fantastic and an awesome little kid. As you grow up, then after a while you start believing, well, maybe I don't really deserve to be loved, I'm not so cool. Then what do? Well, then you start, even as a child, creating friends. I don't know about you, but surviving childhood was one of my greatest accomplishments. There is nothing crueler than a kid. Y'all know what it's like, elementary school, junior high school, all that stuff. That's the epitome of cruelty. You fall down and hurt yourself, what people do?
Laugh.
They laugh. Now, when you get enlightened when people fall down and hurt themselves, what do? You laugh. But you're laughing from the perception of you know that they're not weak, that they're powerful, and that they're strong, and that the fact that they could deceive themselves into thinking that they deserve to be hurt is almost like a joke. So you're not coming from an uncompassionate place. You actually, and you're not laughing out loud. All right? You as you grow spiritually and you learn to awake, you master internal laughter. where you laughing your butt off, but you look like this. Because you're not getting a doggone thing they're saying in the ultimate reality, because you know they are as God created them, and they're unlimited creators that are not trapped and can have another alternative. And that's a beautiful way to look at it, but you don't laugh in their face. Okay? Because part of being conscious is being conscious. So you would know what was inappropriate. Your timing would become incredible. You would become the best chameleon that ever existed. They could put you anywhere and you would know immediately how to blend in. Because when you wake up, you want to become more and more invisible. Because you recognize that there is nothing more free than being unknown. You can't stop what you don't know exists. It's the prettiest flower in the field that gets plucked. And the regular flower is like go up. And the little flower that thinks it's better than every other flower is on its way to a vase. That's kind of a trip. So next time you want to be the prettiest flower in the field, think about that story. Okay. I tell you, I never was one of those dudes that you walk into the room and then people just want you because of the way you look. Like a buddy of mine was. He just walk in the room and all the girls just, I had to be nice. He didn't even have to be nice. Have you ever seen a man that you just wanted because you saw him? Ladies, have you ever just seen a man that as soon as you saw him, you were so turned on by him, you just wanted him right there on the spot, and because you just saw him? Anybody willing to fess up and raise their hand if this ever happened to them? All right. Okay, yeah. Now, same thing with the guys. Have that ever happened to you, that you just seen a woman and as soon as you wanted her, well, it'd be better that's which one you didn't. That'll narrow it down, brother. Thank God. Thank God. So in the beginning it's about form over content, and then in the end it's about content over form, and then the content comes in the form you like. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. So would you acknowledge yourself here in this much, Holy Spirit? Whoa. Whoa. Would you give it to the good, the beautiful, and the holy people in the room? That's what I'm talking about. All right. So we're going to do the financial expression of appreciation right now. Thank you so much. I'm a full-time teacher of a course of miracles and way of mastery. So I'm very grateful for your sharing with me. So we'll pass this around. Those of you online, thank you. I love you so much out there. I'm getting great communication from you, and I appreciate that. Go to my website and sign up for my contact list, earlpurdy.com. And if you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, you can go to my website, earlpurdy.com. And then those of you who want one-on-one counseling, sharing, I have sessions I call clarity sessions, where we take whatever it is that you are going through, and I bring these teachings to that to help you solve it and see it another way, as well as my use of astrology and numerology for those who are open to that. It's not necessary, but if you're open to it, I can give you some perspectives from that way also. So go to my website. It explains everything about the services that I offer. I love working with people on a one-on-one to show them that they don't have an original problem. You're not that special. Okay? There's nothing you're going through that anybody else hasn't gone through it before you in content. So let's wrap this up in a minute. Before we wrap it up, would anybody care to answer this question? One thing I heard tonight that I would love to remember is,
when I'm in pain, I am deceiving myself.
When you are in pain, you are deceiving yourself. Thank you.
One thing I heard I want to remember is your consciousness level is your level of interpretation of what's happening.
Your level of consciousness is your level that you interpret what's happening to you on. And what are the two levels?
Victimism.
Victim and creation.
And I'm the creator. I'm the creator or I'm the victim. Great.
I like remembering that everything is a three-dimensional
mirror of my state of mind. So just to keep taking responsibility for what I'm experiencing.
Everything is a three-dimensional mirror of my state of mind, and I just want to keep taking responsibility for what I'm experiencing. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
For sure.
I particularly appreciate the story that proves that the majority isn't always right. Right? I'd prefer to be the farmer who chose my seeds well and stand out and not be the majority.
Thank you. Thank you. I need to choose my seeds carefully. Yes. Yes.
That I am love.
That you are loved. That's right. You're loving, you're lovable, and you're luscious, and you're juicy. Yeah, my brother. Let's see what my brother over here got to say.
Love waits on welcome, not on time.
Love waits on welcome, not on time. That's a good one too. Anybody else? One thing I would love to remember.
I sit upon my throne, which is sitting in the center of all that is.
Yeah, my throne is to be in the center of all that is,
Mm-hmm.
as the creator of my experience. That's another way of looking at sitting on the throne. I like that. I like that. Anybody else?
Attack can only be physical.
Attack can really, really only be physical. I'm not saying it doesn't look like it could be other
Doesn't look
ways.
like it.
But if we would be objective, we see that that's true. If I haven't actually touched you, then the only thing that's happening is what you're telling yourself in that moment. And that's what's hurting you. That's obvious. See how obvious the truth is? But nobody ever says it to us.
Right.
You know, all of us are capable of understanding sanity, but we just haven't heard any.
Well, they always used to say sticks and stones may break your bones, but words can never hurt you.
Kids were saying a lot of stuff that was true.
They would say something was true.
Yeah,
but a lot
yeah.
of people-
Sticks and stones may break my bone, but your words will never hurt me. Well, here's a stick. That's what they said in my hood. All right, well, I got a stick for your butt. Come on, you know, take care of that. You quote the truth in the hood at your own risk. Anybody else?
That lack is of no use to me.
Yes. Lack is of no use to me. I have no use for this anymore. I have no use for mistreatment. I have no use for not loving myself and allowing myself to be loved. I have no use for condemnation, judgment, and criticism. Say it that way, and you'll let it go faster, instead of using it for judgment.
Or, I like the way you described it, if you can't even think of it that way, you can say, this thought of lack is attacking me, and therefore, I don't want that to happen, so I don't want to think these thoughts anymore.
That's right.
Therefore, I'm abundant.
There you go.
That makes me fun with it.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't want to say that thought is an attack upon myself. Why? Because I already know I don't want to attack myself. So if I say it, I'm going to drop it. Even if though I have some resistance to saying it. All these simple things work if we'll just do it. So, would you be willing to just sit there for a minute and let's wrap this up? You all are such a blessing in my life, and I'm so ridiculously grateful to you. You're a trip. And Sunday, 1 o'clock, I do the Course in Miracles right here. And so I want to invite you to come to my 1 o'clock class right here from 1 to 2 called the Course in Miracles. You are a child at play in your own kingdom. You are a child at play in your own kingdom. Will you give yourself 5 minutes? Will you give yourself 5 friggin' minutes to learn to be a Christ, which means to learn to be loving, to be a love, learn to be a being that creates in unlimited perfection, in alignment with the mind of God. Learn to be a loving being that creates in unlimited perfection in alignment with the mind of love. I create in unlimited perfection in alignment with the mind of love. I create in unlimited perfection in alignment with the mind of God. We create in alignment with unlimited perfection in alignment with the mind of love. You will experience perfect peace, perfect miracle mindedness. You will experience perfect peace, perfect miracle mindedness, and perfect unbroken communion in bliss with all creation. You will experience perfect peace, perfect miracle mindedness, and perfect unbroken communion in bliss with all of creation. May the course be with you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming out tonight. Give it up on time. Hugs are available. I love hugs. Hope to see you next week or Sunday at 1 o'clock. All my classes are on the internet, on YouTube, and at my website, so you can watch this stuff again.
Remember, peace after